So good morning, all. We'll continue the discussion about scheduling. So scheduling is one of the important technique in planning process. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So scheduling is one important aspect in planning process, where we generally deal with assigning resources, and end start and end time for the particular activities, whereas these activities are supposed to be arranged in a logical way. As with that, we will come to know that the end point or the end time of the project, or else we'll come to know that the what total duration of the project. Okay, so that is an important aspect in the scheduling. What could be the basic steps in scheduling is we have to calculate the detailed information required for the particular project, like what the manpower requirement, the machinery requirement, the time of completion based on and we need to judge the time of completion based on the experience. Uh, and the second one is assignment of the resources to the particular activities, and then assigning start and end date, that is timing. We are supposed to assign timings to the events and activities based on the available resources. So what all resources we have, based on that we have to assign the start and end point of the particular activity. Let us why we need to look at the resources is, let us take an example of excavation. I think I dealt with this in the last class also. If excavation is supposed to be done in a hard soil or in a hard strata by a manpower, then it consumes a lot of time. Meanwhile, if I use machine for the same purpose, then that can be done within no time. Okay, so we need to look at what resources we have. But we need to look at the available resources. Based on that, we need to assign the timings to the events or to the activities. That is assigning. Okay, we need to calculate those activities. We need to assign the timings to the activities, and we need to give considerations to resources. That's what we need to look at, what resources we have, and we are supposed to we're supposed to give concern about the limited or the uncertain resources. Based on that, we have to assign the time. Okay, if at all there is an uncertainty in any of the activity, by looking at our resources, then what I may have to do in planning itself is I can assign a more time for that particular project if there is an uncertainty as far as available of resources is considered. So that's why we need to look at some uncertain resources, maybe resources, and the resources are skilled, technical, and supervisory manpower, or it could be any machines also. Okay, and then we have to allocate the resources as per the plan. This is a basic step in the scheduling is considered. Then what we have to do, once we calculate, assign, give considerations to resources, and then allocate the resources, then you have to go with the schedule preparation. That's called as time schedule preparation. Okay, if we want to go with this time schedule preparation, then we need to identify the relationship between the activities. See, it is so that once I complete the excavation, then only I can go for a bed concreting. I cannot start my bed concreting work without completing the excavation. In the sense that these two activities are in series. It has My bed concreting has to start only when my excavation for foundation is complete. Okay, so there is a relationship between these two activities. Now the case is, we need to identify such relationships between the activities. Please remember, we need to give relations to the activities, and the relationships could be like this. I have just tried to give you some relations based on the two activities. Say there are two activities A and B. Okay, then the first type of a relation is finish to start. Once my activity A finishes, then activity B starts. This is how it needs to be understood. Activity B cannot be started until activity A is through, or activity A is complete. Now there is a second sort of a relation where it's in this way: start to finish. It's This is start to finish. Activity A and activity B start at, this is actually start to start. This should have been start to start. Your both activity A, now in this case, your activity A and B, they are parallel activities. They can be called as parallel activities or concurrent activities. Both activity A and activity B start at the same time. That's the second type of a relation. There's a third type of the relation. It's called as finish to finish. In the case now here, what happens is both activities A and B are going to finish at the same time. This is a typical relationships between the activities. So generally, your activities could be in series or activities could be in parallel, and we need to understand based on the experience what relationships they possess, and based on that we need to make a schedule preparation. Okay, we will look into that. There are different tools for this schedule preparation. Okay, one of the important tool is a Gantt chart, another one is a CPM, and another one is a PERT. Precedence network diagram is also there. There are many, and as far as the present module is concerned, we will be studying about these three: a Gantt chart, a CPM, and a PERT. These are the tools for scheduling and controlling, used in scheduling and controlling activities of the construction. Okay, so let us try to understand what these are one by one. We'll go with the Gantt chart or the bar chart. It's also called as a bar chart. It's an old traditional method. In general, here relations between the activities, like most of the relations between the activities are in series or in parallel. Okay, and the relation depends on nature of the activity, and this should be considered in preparing the time schedule. So if we want to go with this Gantt chart, what we need to do is we need to understand the relationship between the activities, whether they are in series or they are in parallel. The history, the background behind this Gantt chart is this was generally, it was basically used during 1910 by Henry Gantt. He is a French engineer who used this Gantt chart, and typically this became very famous later. With like advantages is this, it's a graphical representation of a project where most of the people can understand the graphical representation. So the Gantt chart become very popular, very popular. Even nowadays, most of the projects use this type of a chart. Okay, so what does this Gantt chart consist of, or a bar chart consist of is, along x-axis you will have a time here like January, Feb, maybe in months, in days, it may be according to dates, weeks. Okay, along x-axis you will have the time, and along y-axis you will have the list of the activities. Okay, suppose say here activity 1 I have, if I am showing this activity 1 in this sense in the graph, it means this time corresponds to start of the activity 1, and this time corresponds to end of the activity 1. At the same time, activity 1 and 2 are in series. Okay, once activity 1 is completed, then activity 2 is going to start. Similarly, activity 2 and 3 are again run in series. So I need to wait till activity 2 is going to complete, and then we should start with the activity 3. This is just a typical chart, a typical Gantt chart. Like what advantages is they provide visual clarity. Gantt charts provide visual clarity. They are very good schedules for presenting the project timeline to the owner, basically to owner, that is end users, to show them, to present them. This typical chart becomes very useful, very handy. Okay, they are easily understood, so need not be always a technical person to understand the Gantt chart. It can be understood by any normal person, or any even the public can understand this Gantt chart. Okay, so that is an advantage here. Because, and why is it important is, owners don't particularly care about the relationship between the activities. They are primarily bothered about when the project is going to finish. Okay, so they just look at start and end point of the project. In between, whatever is there, generally owners or the public, they don't bother about that. It's only those who are involved in working or in the execution of that project, they are bothered about the relationship between the activities. Okay, let us try to define this Gantt chart. It's as a bar chart of schedule information where activities are listed on the vertical axis, that is along y-axis. Dates are shown on the horizontal axis, and activity durations are shown as horizontal bars. So the length of the activity bar, it is directly proportional to the duration. Okay, activity durations are shown as horizontal bars placed according to the start and finish dates, or else according to start and finish relationships. Based on those relations, they are being placed and they are being shown in a pictorial way. That is called as a Gantt chart. We'll try to understand a few examples on a Gantt chart. This is one typical example for a Gantt chart. So there are certain activities like first is a layout, site work and excavation, then foundations, then structural work, then roof work, walls, exterior doors and windows, interior partitions, finishing, plumbing, HVAC. What do you mean by HVAC? Then electrical, then close out. Does anyone know about HVAC? HVAC stands for heat, ventilation, and air conditioning. Okay, this is also one of the important construction aspects. And nowadays, this is generally being used because nowadays this is a common activity because we are going with a vertical construction, like commercial buildings or apartments. What we are progressing is in a vertical way. Then we need to have a better HVAC facility. Okay, most of the commercial complexes will have this HVAC facility, so it's an important aspect as far as construction is considered. And try to look at the relations between these activities here. The layout,
Sir,
al-
presentation is not.
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
presentation is not visible.
No, sir.
Is it the case with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
many of you
yes, sir.
have.
Yes, sir.
Thank God, at least you told me after 15 minutes. Okay, you people were typing, but I could not see the chat box. Test. Okay. How about now?
No, sir.
Now can you see it?
No, sir.
Okay, give me a minute. How about now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just go back to the previous slide. Now, these are the types of activity relationships what we may come across in the scheduling. One is finish to start. Activity B can start only when activity A is started. Only when activity A is going to complete. This is start to start relationship. Both activities A and B are going to start at the same time. Please make a correction. This is not start to finish. This is start to start. And then here this is finish to finish relationship. Okay, both activity A and B, they are going to complete or they are going to end at the same time. So based on these relationships, we have to develop the bar chart. So this is a typical bar chart where along y-axis we have the timing, we have the time, and along x-axis there is the time, and along y-axis we have the list of activities, and length of the bar is going to represent the duration of the activity. And look at the relationship between the activities. Activity 1 and 2, only when activity 1 is complete, activity 2 is going to start. And as far as between 2 and 3 is considered, your activity 3 is going to start only when activity 2 is going to get completed. Okay, so we need to understand this relationship between the activities, then it's possible to draw the bar chart or the Gantt chart. So this is typical example here, different activities during the construction, and so that is along y-axis, and similarly along x-axis we have the duration as weeks. Okay, layout work is for 1 week, site work and excavation is for from 2nd week to 7th week, that is 6 weeks is the duration. Similarly, foundation work is somewhere in between it's going to start and it's going to complete in between the site work and the excavation. Then there comes the structural work, roof work, walls, okay, exterior doors and windows, then interior partitions, finishes, then plumbing, then HVAC, then electrical, and then the closure. Now look at the relationship between the activities, how activities are running. Few of the activities are parallel and few of the activities they are in series. Okay, and few of the activities they are going to start before the previous activity is being completed, like this here. Okay, these are supposed to be understood by an engineer on the site, and he should prepare this. Okay, what all activities needs to be started at what time, and then how we are going to complete it. If you make all the activities to run in series, then what happens is your project duration will further increase. It is going to increase. It is going to take a double time, but the case is not so. We can make few of the activities to run in series. Okay, so we need to be very careful about that. Let us go to another simple example. It's a bar chart for placing a simple slab on the grade. So first we need to prepare the site, wait for the barrier, then form the edges, weld the. Now, if you look at the activities here, all the activities they are in series. They are in series. If I want to start my activity 2, that is wait for the barrier, then my preparation of site is supposed to be completed first. Okay. So the case is like there are some works in project where they have to run in series, and there are some works in projects where they can be run parallelly. So we need to take a judgment about that to make sure that my project is going to complete well within the time, because time is directly proportional to money here. Now I have tried to show you another example where few of the activities they are running in parallel. Excavation, before my excavation is going to complete, let us take an example of a huge structure. Then I need not wait till excavation for the whole building is complete. I can start my formwork once a certain percentage of excavation is being completed. I can start that formwork footing. Similarly, I need not wait to complete the formwork footings, so that I could, before that I can still go with the placement of the bars. Okay, so here few portion certain portion of the activities they are running parallelly. Okay, that we need to understand. Yeah, nothing like I should wait for a complete excavation. It's like if you plan to read some subject, it's not necessary that you have to complete reading that subject and then you should go for the subject 2. Okay, in that fashion it is. We need to understand how much work can be, how much work is supposed to be completed for activity 1 so that my activity 2 can be started. Like an example, say I'm going with an excavation work for a highway project or simple road project. First excavation takes say about 4 weeks. Okay, after excavation there comes the bed concreting. Okay, now my road is of say 1 kilometer. I start with the excavation. Say I complete 200 meter of excavation. Still how much portion is being left out? Still there is 800 meter left out portion for the excavation. But once I complete 200 meter of the excavation, I can start the bed concreting from the part where I have already excavated. Isn't it? Or should I wait for excavation of the complete 1 kilometer work and then if I go for the bed concreting, then it increases my project duration. Are you getting my point? So it's like in that way, few portion of the works they run parallel so that the work can be completed in a planned time. Okay, this is being the planning what we are dealing. Okay, in this case we will come to know that what could be the duration of the project. Similarly, this is another typical example of a bar chart. Here, the bar chart is being modified to understand my percentage completion of the work. As per now, I'm trying to I'm trying to understand what is a planned work and what is a built work within a bar chart itself. Not to worry about this now. Okay, we will discuss if it is needed further later. Not to worry about this type of a bar chart. But why did I presented this slide is I just wanted to make you people to understand that I can modify the bar chart as and when needed to understand what could be the progress of the work. Okay, now let us try to understand this example. Here, this is a, so I have made a certain list of activities here for foundation to fix some equipment. So what we need to do is the initial activity, that is layout and excavation. The time is 5 days. After that, placing a mud mat or a lean concrete, that is 1 day. Fabricate the shuttering is 3 days. Cut and bend reinforcement, that is bar bending, is 4 days. After that, fixing the reinforcement is 2 days. Fix the shuttering is 1 day. And then pour the concrete is 1 day. These are the activities listed to have a foundation for some equipment. Okay. Now we will try to understand, try to look at the sketch. What are the, like I have a lean concrete, there's an excavation in trapezoidal shape, then there's a lean concrete, that is a bed concrete here. Then this is my shuttering. Okay, then I'm going to place the reinforcement there. Then we have a foundation bolts and then we need to pour the concrete. So this is a setup. These are the list of activities. Now we'll try to put this activity or this work in terms of a bar chart. So layout and excavation, now try to understand here. Layout and excavation is being done on the site. Okay, once my layout and excavation is completed, then I am going for the placing of the lean concrete. Lean concrete takes only 1 day. So once this gets completed, I'm going with placing the bed concrete. But fabricating the shuttering, I need to prepare the shuttering. Before placing the shuttering, I need to prepare it. That is fabrication. See, fabrication is being done in some workshop. Okay, so what I can do is, once my work on the site has started, at the same time I can start the fabrication work. So here, my activity 1 and activity 3, they are in series. Okay, I have the sketch at the same time. I can also go with the bar bending. Okay, anyhow the labors are going to be different for different activities. So I can start my bar bending at the 0 time only. So these three activities are being started at the 0 time. But the second work, placing the concrete, it has to be started only when my activity 1 is being completed. Once the concrete is being placed, then I can go with the fixing the reinforcement, because my fixing reinforcement is supposed to be done on the side, and now my bar bending is also over. So I am bringing the bar bend material and I am fixing it on the side here. Once I fix the reinforcement, then I am going to fix the shuttering throughout the length of the foundation. Once I fix the shuttering, then we are going to pour the concrete. Okay, so this is how it looks like. This is a typical bar chart, and you need to understand what activities are supposed to be run in series or run in parallel. Any difficulties? Okay.
No, sir.
So then we will go with the problem. Please note down the problem here. Please note down the problem in the book. And I would also suggest you to have graph sheets while attending the next class. Those who have completed noting down this numerical, you can start with the solution. And any difficulties, please let me know. Now in the numerical, there are activities, there are 7 activities, and the relationship between the activities is given. Only thing is now, by looking at the relationship between the activities, we should draw the bar chart. What do you mean by concurrently here? Activity 2 and activity 3 can be done concurrently. What do you mean by this?
Simultaneously.
Yes, simultaneously or parallelly. Okay, concurrently is simultaneously or parallelly. And both the activity must follow activity 1. What do you mean by this? They must follow activity 1. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Activity 2 and 3, they are following activity 1. What do you mean by this?
Activity 1 must be completed.
Yes, pardon?
Activity 1 was completed.
It means activity 1 should be completed, okay, and then activity 2 and 3, they have to just follow the activity 1. So, activity 1 has to complete, and then activity 2 and 3, they can be started. And what is the relation between activity 2 and 3? They can be started simultaneously. Okay, I hope you understood this. Next sentence. Activity 2 must precede activity 4. What do you mean by this? Have you heard of the word successor?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by successor generally?
Which who or a thing comes after
After someone.
one
Yeah.
which is
If you are thinking
successful.
in the
Yes.
historical way, the one who comes after someone is a successor. That is succeed activity or succeeding activity. Now it is precede activity. So what do you mean by this?
Before
Yes? Yes.
something.
So look at the second sentence. Activity 2 must precede activity 4. So what do you mean by this? Activity 2 must precede activity 4. What do you mean by this?
Activity 2 must be done before activity 4.
Yes, activity 2 has to be completed before activity 4 has to start. That is the meaning here. I hope you are following this. Okay, next sentence. Activity 5 cannot begin until both activities 2 and 3 are completed. Okay, until activities 2 and 3 are completed, then activity 5 cannot start. I hope you understood this. Okay, next one. Please let me know any difficulties here. Next, activity 6 can be started only after activities 4 and 5 are completed. So once my activity 4 and 5 are completed, then activity 6 can be started. Okay. Next, the last sentence in the numerical is activity 7 is the last activity which can be started only after completion of activity 5. So once my activity 5 is completed, then activity 7 has to be started. Prepare the bar chart for the project. Okay. If I think you might have noted down the problem, I'll go to the solution part. Activity 2 and 3, please draw it with a by using pencils, scales, and show the time along the x-axis, choosing a scale there. Activity 1 is 1 duration, that is in weeks. This is activity 1. Okay, activity 2 and 3, they are concurrent, but they should start only when activity 1 is completed. Right? Now, activity 2 must precede activity 4. It means activity 4 has to be started only when activity 2 is complete. My activity 2 is completing here. So, from this time, activity 4 is starting. Got it? Activity 5 has to be started only when activity 2 and 3 are completed. Please remember here, now activity 5 is starting only when 3 is completing, because 3 has the larger duration between 2 and 3. Okay, I cannot select my activity 5 at the end of this activity 2, because the relation says only when 2 and 3 are completed, then only we can start the activity 5. So this is where my activity 5 is starting. In the same way, for activity 6, what is the relation for activity 6? Activity 6 can be started only after activities 4 and 5 are completed. Now here, fortunately, 4 and 5, they are completing at the same time, then my activity 6 is starting. Similarly, activity 7 has to be started only when activity 5 is completed. That's it. The relation between, yes. Activity 7 is the last activity which can be started only after completion of activity 5. So once activity 5 is completed, activity 7 can be started. And activity 7 is of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks duration. Look at the length of the bar. They are representing the duration of the activities. Okay. Now can you tell me what is the total project duration? What is the total project duration?
10 hours.
10 weeks.
10 hours.
Yes, 10 weeks. So total project duration is 10 weeks. Now please type your relation in the chat box for the attendance. Okay, this is how we need to draw the bar chart. We'll go with the problem 2. Please note on the problem. A project consists of 8 activities A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H with their times of completion as follows. So we have a list of activities and duration in weeks for those activities respectively. So I'm just continuing the numerical here. So any difficulties here to understand the relationship between the activities and the numerical? I don't have a solution. I'm asking you to give the solution here. Okay. Anyhow, it is 11:15. So before you come to the next class, please be prepared with the solution of this. Meanwhile, any difficulties, please let me know. And please solve this numerical in a graph sheet because I'm considering it as an assignment. I will share the link to submit this assignment.
Sir, first slide of problem 2, sir. Can you share?
Yes,
First slide.
Andrew, screenshot ತಕ್ಕೋರು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Okay, ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲಿ.
Yes, sir.
ಏನ್ ಹುಡುಗರು ನೀವು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೆ. Okay, I hope you have submitted the assignment. So I'm ending today's session. Meanwhile, I think Prasanna has shared a link with you. I don't know how many of you know. I have not seen that. I'm just going to look at that. Please, if you have not given that, if you have not submitted the form, please do that. Anyone who has not submitted till now? Is there anyone who has not submitted that form sent by Prasanna yesterday? Please do that now. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to end the session.